he didn't do anything. He was doing nothing. I went to a lot of therapy. All of those things really just validated that I was a victim of a bad marriage. Staying married isn't the point. Being happily married is. That's like God's true design and what I believe in my heart for marriage.
Welcome to the Millionaire Momentum Show, where lifestyle meets business and abundance and impact align. Abundance is who you are, and impact is what happens when you share it. Join Aly Porter and Elise Smith as we spotlight entrepreneurs building their millionaire lives. Together, we'll explore faith, business growth, AI, and the stories, mindsets, and strategies behind real success, and discover how you can step into the millionaire life you were made for.
Welcome to the Millionaire Momentum Show. My name is Aly Porter, and I'm one of the hosts here, aka I'm your Freedom Connector. And this is where abundance and impact align. Remember that abundance is who you are, and impact is what happens when you share it. So let's dive in. So today we have a special guest with us, and I am so excited to have her because we have been friends for a long time, but she just brings this sense of peace to me that I can't even describe. And so I'm really, really excited for you to meet her. Her name is Erin Jean, and she is a relationship coach and personal transformation expert who helps professional women revitalize their marriages and reconnect with their self-worth. She's drawing from her own 19-year journey through a challenging marriage, and Erin blends spiritual wisdom, practical strategy, and deep empathy. As a certified Rapid Rewire Practitioner, she guides women in rewiring limiting beliefs to create fulfilling relationships and aligned lives. Through coaching programs and retreats, Erin empowers women to write the love stories that they truly deserve. And I absolutely love this topic because it is so needed. So needed. And so, Erin, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your love, your light, and just who you are with the world. I just am so excited to dive in.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm totally honored to be here, and I'm excited to just get to chat with you more because I always love talking with you.
I know. We could talk for hours.
We could.
Well, to start out, for those of you that are listening that don't know Erin, can you share your story and just kind of the behind the scenes of who you are and how this all came to be? We'll dive into the business side here in a little bit, but I would love to hear kind of the behind the scenes of the story behind how everything got started.
Absolutely. I'll try to make it as short as I can. I have put all these pieces together now. I didn't understand them as I was becoming an adult. And when I was a young child, I was molested by a family member. And it really wasn't the act of what happened, but it was the way my family responded to it that left a huge mark on me. And it truly left me feeling just unworthy of love. And I was kind of set up for always trying to earn love and earn approval. And on top of it, my mom had a mental health issue. And so that kind of compounded this feeling like I could never seem to get it right to get the love I was trying to get from my mom. So that was sort of my foundation, right? And what I didn't realize is I brought all of that with me into adulthood. I'd always dreamed of becoming a wife and a mom. I always said I wanted 7 kids. I was like really into this idea of being a mom. And fast forward, I did get married, and we actually have 3 beautiful children, not 7. I don't think I really could do 7.
It's a nice thought.
It's a nice idea, but I found myself like, this is the thing I dreamed about, and it's a nightmare. Like, it is not at all what my dream version was. My husband at the time was very verbally and emotionally abusive. And I was literally just surviving and trying to navigate life. I was always walking on eggshells. I kind of didn't know when the next blow up was going to happen. And I just felt like this protective mode over my kids. And I did the traditional thing. I went to a lot of therapy. I read a lot of marriage self-help books. I dragged my husband to some marriage retreats. And all of those things really just validated that I was a victim of a bad marriage. In fact, I had a counselor run into me in a grocery store and tell me, hey, you've got a version of marriage and your version is like climbing Mount Everest, and you're married to a guy that has no arms and no legs. And so you really need to think about it. And I was like, I mean, it just was like a knife in my heart, because she essentially was validating that what I wanted was impossible with the person that I married. And now I like to call myself a hope dealer, because I'm here to tell you that there is hope. There is really hope for your marriage. When I finally shifted everything and I stopped focusing on him being the problem and me being the victim, right? This dynamic, right? Of I cannot earn his love, right? From childhood. When I became aware of that and intently focused on me and learning to love myself, learning to walk with God in a different way of valuing who he made me to be and the truth of who I am and how loved that I am, it felt like magic, but my whole life started to change. My husband totally changed. It was like, what is happening? And he didn't do anything. He wasn't going to like any therapy stuff. He wasn't listening to podcasts. He wasn't reading books. He was doing nothing. But I'm telling you, these triggering moments started to happen. And because I had transformed and I reacted in a new way, he transformed. He stopped reacting. And I truly believe it was because when I rewired this part of me, this subconscious part of my brain that didn't need to be in that pattern anymore, because I felt loved. I didn't need him to show up in that way. And so he just stopped. And it was really amazing. So I always say, the good news is I'm married to the same man. It's been 24 years now, but he is not the same man. And I'm not the same woman. And I just am here to stand and say, there is hope, absolute hope for you to have a transformed marriage. And I just want to add why it matters, because many of us have children, and we are shaping the future. When our children see what's possible in a marriage, staying married isn't the point.
Yeah.
Being happily married that's like God's true design and what I believe in my heart for marriage. And we want to give that gift to our children. Not only do they stay in an intact home, but they stay in a happy home, and that builds their brains to be wired for something better in the future. So it just is really important to me, because I know we're affecting the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you that I've experienced something similar. And so I know that it can work. And it had nothing to do with my spouse. It had nothing to do with him. He didn't change anything, didn't do anything different. It was me. It was me that changed. And so, Erin, talk to me a little bit about what you're able to help women with, when they have this struggle where they're just like, I just don't think I can do it anymore. Or they've settled and they're just like, well, I guess it's just, this is the way it is. And I'm just doomed to just be miserable, but I'm just going to stick it out for my kids or whatever the reason is. It doesn't have to be that way. Like you said, it doesn't have to be that way. And it's not like you have to get a divorce and start all over either. And in fact, that's actually what you don't want to do. You want to be able to realize you can save your marriage in a sense, but it's not in the way that you think. So I would love to hear, Erin, how taking all of that you learned, you've decided to, create a business around it. And so talk to me a little bit about that. What does that look like? What are you able to help women do?
Well, first, I just want to speak a little bit to this notion of many of us feel like you're either doomed to be in a miserable marriage or you have to get divorced. Those are the only two options. There's actually a third option, right? And that's what I like to help you walk down that path of. And I want you to know that if you don't do this work and you do get divorced, it's actually worse, because you're going to call in the very same exact pattern with a different human, and they're going to present as completely wonderful and different, and you're going to end up 5 years down the road in the same darn pattern. You all know this because you have seen people in your life that keep doing the same thing on repeat with different people.
It has nothing to do. There's a common denominator there.
Totally, it's you, and it has everything to do with your subconscious mind. So step one, when I work, go ahead. Do you want to ask?
I was just going to say really quick. So our point is not your fault.
No.
because you don't even know that it's happening. And so that's why Erin is what she does is so powerful, because she helps you to realize that, but then know how to change it. And so there is hope, like you were saying. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, there is hope. So I have found step one, the most important thing, is to learn how to regulate your nervous system. Because if you are constantly living in the fight or flight mode, you cannot be the best version of yourself. And most of us that are in a difficult relationship, let alone a marriage, right? You're going to be in fight or flight a lot. So step one is learning how to regulate your nervous system to get out of fight or flight so you can think more clearly. And then the next step is we begin to recognize our subconscious programming, right? Those things that often happen in childhood that are operating by way of limiting beliefs, negative thought patterns, and they're ruling and dominating your life, and you absolutely don't even realize it. So we bring awareness and we start to recognize what those subconscious programs are, and then we actually rewire our brain around that. So the particular method I use is called Rapid Rewire, and there's several different modalities with it, but we sit and literally take one problem at a time. So it's like, I'm so mad that my husband never takes out the trash. We take that and we figure out what's at the root of it, and we begin to rewire. And so the next time it happens, you actually are going to act totally different in that situation, which is really cool to see. And because you show up different, your spouse, even your kids, they'll all start reacting differently to you. And so we just do this beautiful work together where little by little, it all starts to change, and it's really fun. And as an added bonus, we learn to speak the language of men, because men think differently, they speak differently, and there are very specific words that we can use with love and good intentions to help kind of the way God designed men to function, so that we become really elevated and treated like a queen within our own family. And I always think, so like, if you know much about the Bible, right, the story is that Eve was created for Adam. And I kind of was raised believing that, like, I'm supposed to be here for him. I'm supposed to be here for him. But the truth is, when you live in this beautiful dynamic and you understand how God created men, men are really the gift to us. I truly believe that. And so it's just about learning how to understand and how to tap into it. So that's kind of like the finale, because first you got to take care of your nervous system, your mind, and then you get to step into this new way of understanding and have a totally elevated relationship, which is a lot of fun.
Wow. I love that. I know that you can't like go into all the nitty gritty details, but I don't know if any of you are here listening, like, do you realize that? Do you realize what she just said? She just said that men are actually a gift to us. How cool is that? Like, when you really think about it that way, because I truly believe that I've been thinking about it the other way my whole married life up until about a year ago. I'd even say the last 6 months. I've really shifted that, but I didn't know that's what I was doing. And so it's so cool that you're like putting like the words to what I was experiencing. How, like, the people that have worked with you, what are some of the things that they've said that have helped them and has kind of changed that for them?
I think the thing I hear most often is they will come to me and say, Erin, you won't believe what happened. And I'm like, oh, I'll believe it. All right. But I want to hear the story, because I love stories. I love hearing what happens in people's lives. And it's usually some sort of version of this typical pattern that they could write it out for you, because it happens predictably every single time the same exact way. And all of a sudden, their husband didn't do the thing that he normally does, and they're shocked. And it's not that he didn't just do the thing. It's that he responded in this like way they've never seen. Like, he responded with love, kindness, emotionally connected, and they're just like mouth on the floor, can't believe that this is happening. Especially because, again, like I said, their husbands are not like reading books on how to respond. They're not going to therapy. They're not listening to podcasts. It's very, very rare to find a man that's interested in those things.
Yeah.
And so it's really fun to see that. And I'd say the other added thing that I get to hear a lot, which is unexpected, is how the dynamics have shifted with their children and how the tools that I've taught them actually have helped their children, especially in times of feeling triggered when their kids go into that fight or flight mode, how they've kind of helped the whole family regulate and move into peace, which has been really powerful.
That is so beautiful. I love that. I just think that's so needed in the world. I'm just so grateful that you have, it's hard because you can look at it from one aspect saying, oh, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all the things you had to go through. But by the same token, it's actually such a blessing because you've learned everything that you've learned and now you can share it with others. And that's why we go into business in the first place, is to be able to help and serve people. And so, Erin, when people work with you, what does that look like? What's the time frame and all of that?
Yeah, I have a group program. It's 12 weeks long, and there's so much power in group because I don't know if you've experienced this, but it's really easy to tell somebody else what's wrong with them. It's a lot harder to see what is wrong with you.
Yes, it is so true.
Right? So when we show up in group together with this same powerful intention, it's beautiful to watch what happens. And we learn so much by watching another woman and how she implemented this and what's gone on. And then we're able to apply it to ourselves in a more powerful way. So I really love group work because I think there's so much power in the collective. So it's a 12-week program, and we just work together week by week, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, all the like links and description and everything about her program and what she offers will be in the notes below, like the show notes and everything. So you can definitely check out, the link there. But I just want to say thank you for stepping up and being willing to go there with people, because I know that can't be easy because we're programmed one way. And especially if we've been in that like victim mode for so long, being able to try and like get out of that. The fascinating thing that I love about this too, that you told me before we started recording, was you said that you're able to help them alone. Like, it doesn't mean you have to bring your husband with you to change him, right? It's you get to work on yourself. And because you work on yourself, it immediately changes him and the family and just all the dynamics that we talked about. And I just think that is so powerful, so powerful. So definitely check the link below. We'll have all the details for you on that for sure. So I want to shift gears slightly. You know that on this show, we're all about, and we're going to touch on it again because we kind of touched on it already, but we talk about abundance and impact, right? And so there's the A for abundance, the I for impact. And then we also have artificial intelligence, because I'm all about AI. I love AI in so many different ways. There's some things I don't love about it, but most of the time I really love it. But we love to talk about tying in the AI into what you do is for business. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a wonderful thing? Do you think that it's not? We love to get people's perceptions on that, because we own an AI agency, but also we want people to feel like there is no right or wrong answer. It's just kind of whatever you feel works for you.
Well, I love AI. It has been a game changer for me and for my business. And it's given me a lot of time and mental space that was being taken up back. And even I would say it's helped me really shift out of looking for approval from others by what I create. I kind of was getting too tied up in hoping people were going to react well to things that I created, whether it was email or social media. And now that I haven't put as much time into it, like I've had the time of thinking about what I want to say, the AI kind of helps me to craft it in a way that sounds like my voice. I can release like what people think. It's just, I wish I could have done it on my own.
Yeah.
The truth is AI has really helped me to be in a more healthy space, because I shouldn't care that much what other people think anyways.
Yeah. And plus, I love it because it does validate me and makes me feel good about myself. But then even if there is something that, maybe I could have looked at in a different way, like helps me to like reword something or whatever, depending on, what I'm sending out or whatever. I love that. Yeah. I think that it's definitely helpful in a lot of areas. One thing that I will say though, and I do stress this a lot, is it will never replace humans. As much as I love it, as much as I think it's amazing, the relationships that we have. This is why I do this podcast, because I love to connect with people. I love to be able to hear their stories. I love to be able to hear what they've created and how they're serving, the world and everything. And so I want those of you that are listening to just be aware that whatever gift God's given you, you need to share it. You need to share it with the world and not be afraid of, AI taking over or whatever, because it's not going to. It's going to enhance who you already are. Right? Same with money, same with anything else. It enhances who you already are. So I love to hear that. I just love to hear how people use in their businesses and stuff like that. So the last thing I wanted to touch on, and this is, we've kind of talked about this before, but I love to, because the name of the podcast is the Millionaire Momentum Show, and the name of our brand is Millionaire Momentum Life. How do you create time and money freedom in alignment with you for your business, for your clients? What does that look like for you?
Well, for me, I really believe it's showing up every day as this version of myself that I'm calling into being. And I do that with intention. Not only have I written out and listened to often, because I recorded it with my voice, of what it is that I'm creating and the life that I'm creating, because I believe that we're made just in God's image to be creators, just like He is. I've noticed that there seems to be no other creature on the planet that creates the way that humans do. And so I really think that it's important to be living out life in a creation mode, always creating. And I have music and even clothing that I use to help me to tap into that feeling, because I really believe that life is about frequency, right? And that energy in which we're abiding in really, really affects ourselves and those around us, which is truly why my life changed and my husband changed, because my frequency changed, right?
Yes.
I literally tuned the dial on the radio station to something new. And so I think that when I love inviting women into that, the retreats that I lead are about that. It's about changing your whole life. And when we do that, right, it's like we're creating a powerful world and future for everyone. Imagine what the world would be like if we were all living from that space. It's really powerful. So for me, that way of being is what creates my next level of life and, that millionaire lifestyle and the time and money freedom, because where I'm focusing my mind matters.
It does. And isn't it interesting? When you actually work on yourself, everything else is a byproduct of that. The time will come, the money will come, the feeling that you're looking to feel will come, because you're going inward instead of trying to externally find all the things to fill you, if that makes sense. And that's why I love the work that you do, Erin, because what you're doing is you are changing you from the inside, which then allows your husband to love you differently, to see you differently, your kids, your, coworkers, your friends, your family. And even if people don't see you that way, you still have that peace within yourself. And that's what I love. So when you're doing your retreats, just out of curiosity, are they similar to the course that you do, the group coaching, or is it different? What is
It's a little bit different because we focus on 4 quadrants of life that matter. And I'm highly spiritual. I have a deep faith. So we keep God at the center of it. I really love sharing biblical texts that align with everything and how I'm speaking. This isn't just something I've made up out of nowhere. In fact, when you were talking, that verse that came to my mind was, God told us, don't worry about tomorrow. And when you're staying in this frequency of just being grateful and joyful for what you have today, that's living that out, right? And it will change literally how you feel in your body. So that's what my retreats look like with women. And we tend to have a lot of women come that are in transition states. So they've either hit that spot of marriage and motherhood where they're like, okay, there needs to be more than this, and they're ready for the more. Or their kids have flown the nest and they're off doing adult life and they're like, okay, what do I do now? So we just partner with, my sister does the work with me on retreats, and we partner with women on like really building out that vision for their life and stepping into their purpose beyond what they've been doing. And it's a lot of fun.
So beautiful. Well, we will have all the links to everything that Erin does in the show notes. So please, please, please check her out. Make sure that you check out her group coaching program, check out her retreats, just everything that she is doing, because she is truly someone that you want to have in your circle, have in your corner. I mean, and it's funny because even I was saying, like, anytime that I'm in the room with Erin, I'm always just like, like there's just this groundedness and this peace and this calm, and you want that in your life. Like, you really, really do. So connect with Erin. She'll be able to help you do that for sure. Anything else that you want to say before we close out today?
I just want to say thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your heart. I see you and how you care about people. And I just appreciate that you show up and you do it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel the same way about you. So I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining us for this episode today. And just remember again that this is where abundance and impact align. And when you align those two things, everything else will fall into place. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks so much, Erin, for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Millionaire Momentum Show. Remember, true freedom isn't measured by income. It's about living your life in alignment. And real wealth isn't just about money. It's about having the time to enjoy what matters most. Subscribe now, and if you found this episode valuable, share it, and we'll see you next time.